What's up, guys? I just wanted to do a live to answer anybody's questions if they have some. So feel free to ask away. I'm trying to also get my watch hours up a bit, so I'd like to start making. Hello, just doing hoping to answer people's questions on this live of anything they might have. So feel free to ask away. It's like a Q&A session. So I'm hoping to kind of get more people engaged with the channel and just who created God? Well, I mean, I guess if you get into that, you have to get into like quantum physics, I guess, and try to figure out what was before the Big Bang, I guess, which would really be that's really difficult. Hello, everybody. So I started making this channel originally is just like my favorite color would be I would say red. Yeah, probably red. I guess I'll try not to get too religious, I guess, in here. Yeah, everyone can have their own opinion. Yeah, but I started making this channel as just like a skateboarding channel originally, where I was just posting skate clips. And then I kind of want to start doing other stuff, like talking about mental health and stuff like that. Yes or no? To what? Hmm. Let's see. Who created God? What's your favorite color? Yes or no? I'm not sure. Hey guys, so what brought you guys to the channel? Was it like the skate clips or just kind of the videos I've done talking about not related to chat? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. Yeah, but I've started doing some stuff just talking about like recovery because um, I used to have like some pretty heavy substance abuse issues. No, I'm not high at the moment. The last thing was I'm working on is giving up nicotine. That's a really rough one. But yeah, I can see the messages. I was going to answer some people's questions. My poison. So when I first went to call it fentanyl, yeah. Well, I only got into like hydrocodone because when I was living in Medellin, I think I talked a little bit about Medellin. But you can buy like Percocet or hydrocodone over the counter, and so I would buy these. Oh, that's good for you because I personally just about like a year off of like heavier drugs. But right now, the main thing I'm struggling with is just quitting smoking. That's kind of become a problem for me. But yeah, and so in in Colombia, you can buy like Percocet over the counter. And so I had a phase where I was staying there for like a month. Um, no, I'm not. Yeah, I guess I'm drunk off of water. But I was buying Percocet in Colombia, and for like a month's time, I was doing that, and like it was not so good of a thing. Um, but yeah, I've been trying to do some lives for just, yeah, I guess getting user engagement going. But let's see. Yeah, I was, yeah, I had a problem in Colombia a while with that, and then but when I came back to the U.S., uh, what is it? I'm not really distracted. I guess I'm just a little bit. This is my first live, so I don't know how to. Yeah, the thing is with Percocet, I would feel really like you kind of have like a lot of energy. Definitely, I was really it definitely was not a sedating thing. It was like a really kind of like heavy, kind of a body load and like a lot of energy. And my friend who lives out there, unfortunately, he's gotten really bad into it now, and his tolerance has gone up so that he has to get like two of these packages each day, and so he's really been yeah, losing a lot of just a lot of money from that. And yeah, I guess for me, everything that I got from Colombia was just really whatever I was getting is called like Sinalhin Max over there, which is, I think is hydrocodone. Was it that made me feel really, yeah, speedy, I guess. But yeah, I'm just kind of now since I've been like a year off of harder drugs. My thing that was a problem before was like ketamine. When I was really into psychedelics, I had a really bad phase with that. But then yeah, I kind of got off of that, and then I wasn't using it like daily, but I would have a problem with um, I'd have a problem with just like binging. My thing was more of kind of like a binge use disorder where if something was in front of me, then it would tend to escalate. It would just kind of go like a snowball effect, and so that's what the problem was with that. But um, anyway, so I really hope my videos are helpful for people. I deleted some because um, I deleted some because I wasn't really getting. Yeah, I actually did. I did an ayahuasca retreat a lot of years ago when I was 24. So I'm 29 now. Um, I'm gonna be 30, and pretty soon. But yeah, I did an ayahuasca retreat a while ago, and it really did have some. Yeah, yeah, I can see the messages. Yeah, I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do this just to answer people's questions and stuff, and just sort of give an idea about. Um, anyway, um, but I did this, and it was also in Colombia. I think there's some really great things about Colombia, but the main like downside for me was getting too involved with like the wrong people in Medellin. Because if I go to the skate park, um, so for setting up ayahuasca retreat, for me, I just looked it up online. The company I use was called like Psycho Travels. But if you're in like most places in Latin America, like you can just kind of find out if you go to a hostel or something. There's usually a lot of people that are kind of looking for this type of thing. Um, it wasn't a shady experience for me at all. It was pretty. The people were pretty professional. I didn't really feel. Yeah, I'm in Florida too, but yeah, it was like it definitely is not a kind of high, like, not like acid or shrooms or something like that. It was a very like serious experience. It's, obviously it's used by indigenous people for um that for them it's like communicating with the spirit world, and I don't really know so much about that kind of aspect of it. But it's like a very serious and very, it's not like oh, this is, recreational thing. um, for me, when I was doing it, it was like, uh, it was, you're kind of like, for me, I had a lot of flashbacks. It wasn't so much about like, I didn't see as much of kind of outside entities. It was more like really heavy. No, I'm not high right now, man. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a little bit nervous about doing my first live. But yeah, about ayahuasca, it was just like very, very introspective. Was my experience with it. It was a lot of thoughts about like, kind of going through everything in your past. Like for me, something that was like really traumatic was when I first had like a really bad experience with like a bad acid trip. I ended up like in a psych hospital, and when I was having the ayahuasca experience, I was like reliving it. It was very, like, I was seeing, the police and stuff like in my room, and just all the, it was really heavy. But then after it ended, I had kind of more of a like an even kind of feeling about it. It wasn't as, you know, I don't know, like distressing after I kind of went through it. Yeah, yeah. I don't mean to be like taking too much offense or anything, but it's kind of tough when, like I'm really like, kind of struggling a bit with recovery sometimes. So people kind of, accuse me of like being high. It's kind of offensive, I guess. But I don't mean to be getting too reactive to that. But it's pretty tough when you're. It was very bad for me for a while. So um, yeah. But yeah, I really hope that this can be helpful for people, because I've noticed a lot, like it's kind of scary to me how like high school kids now, have a lot like heavier stuff that they're exposed to. They have a lot of really, it's like stronger weed. Another thing I want to say is the stuff that they sell like at the gas stations is kind of like fake weed, the Delta 8 or stuff like that. I think this shit is really bad for, developing kids and stuff. Because I remember um, when I tried that a while ago, it's a very weird feeling, and some people have been talking about how, um, yeah, and so like I was saying too, the last thing for me is nicotine. And even like you don't think that much about nicotine, especially if you live, in some country. Like I notice outside the US a lot more people smoke, like in Europe and stuff. But I've like really been having a hard time with kicking nicotine now. Um, but anyway, I hope these people are enjoying the live. This is my first time kind of going on here. Um, Yeah, but if pretty much right now, my main like battle is nicotine. Yeah, I would agree with that in some ways because, well, for me, I'm not really a big eater. I don't really eat that much. But yeah, the porn can be a really bad thing. It's like for me, when I was in Brazil recently, and I was, I guess, like I had dated some girls there, and it was like I had an active, kind of romantic life or whatever, which I don't have in the U.S. So then you can kind of have that like that dark energy come in, like going to look at porn when you're not like having the same kind of contact with people. But it can be bad for sure when if it starts taking over. Um, yeah, I mean, about using mushrooms to quit smoking. Um, I mean, the problem is for me is that with any kind of like psychedelic, it's it causes me to like basically lose reality. So even just mushrooms or anything. The last time I did mushrooms a few years ago, I became like just really hyper, and I got really kind of like manic from this. So I kind of wish sometimes that I could moderate, certain psychedelics like in a appropriate way. But that was kind of where I first got into a bad state with that when I was when I was in college. That was sort of the first time I kind of abused certain things, was when I was like taking like really high doses of acid, or having ketamine binges and stuff like that. But um, yeah, recently I took some videos down, because I took down all my videos, so like videos and shorts that were under 1,000 views, just because I guess I want to have a better looking kind of channel. People go on, they see, oh, I think it's better, for marketing or whatever. But then some people were telling me, "Oh, why'd you delete these videos?" I felt kind of bad about that. So somebody wants me to re-upload anything in particular, let me know. But yeah, I'm surprised I even have any viewers on this, because I didn't know how. It's just good to. I'm glad to be answering people's questions. Well, yeah, I'm actually really surprised that like when I first made my original video that started getting people into my channel, was just how drugs ruin my life. That's the only one that actually like has some decent views, has like around 20,000 or something. But I wasn't expecting really anybody to even really watch it. I was just kind of bored one day, and I was thinking, well, why don't I start these like kind of vlog things? And I was really like, I was surprised. Oh, people seem to, you know, I guess it's in like the current times, it's a lot of people are having the same kind of problem. I also noticed that like everywhere in the U.S. that I go, it seems that there's a lot more like meth in particular, and obviously like fentanyl is everywhere. But when I was in California recently, it seemed that every place you would go, there's like that kind of issue with just meth. Like I noticed a lot more meth than I used to. So I was in Northern California, and I was with this lady, like wakeboarding. I was a wakeboarding instructor, and she said, "Oh, every time that I, am at my own property, I have to worry about somebody on meth like coming into my yard and taking stuff from So she wasn't even somebody that liked to have guns and stuff, but she would, she said, I just started, owning firearms now because I have to deal with these people coming into my property all the time that are high on meth." It was like around this um it was around the name of her town is called like Eureka. It's like really far north in California, and she's like, yeah, it's too much of a meth problem. And I had been talking a little bit about painkillers. My friend right now, he lives in Colombia, and you can buy like hydrocodone over the counter, and he's now up to like 200 milligrams a day. He started out taking like 20 milligrams a day. He's now at 200, and so he basically spends all his money just on these painkillers, and it's really scary because when I saw him, um, like when I met him in Colombia like last year, I didn't know that he was on it, but he was on it at that time. And then yeah, but see, I've been talking to him about it, but he just doesn't. I think the thing about this is like when you get deep into a habit and deep into something, there's nobody that can really get you to change. It really just has to be you. Because for me, it was just like when I had had enough of just a horrible come downs, psych hospitals, all this stuff. Like I just made my mind up I couldn't do it anymore. But my friend, he's not really in that state of mind right now. It's like, well, he knows that it's really going out of control for him, but he's just not quite ready to just give it up. Like before it was opiates, he was had a benzo addiction for a few years, but he made up his mind that like he was going to quit the benzos because he couldn't remember anything. He was constantly like, he would take however much of like Klonopin a day, and he got to the point where he just was not even remembering anything he would do. So he made up his mind to quit benzos, but then somebody introduced him to the opiates like shortly after that, and then now he's on the opiates again, or on the opiates, after the benzos. But yeah, it's just kind of it's unfortunate. Um, I mean, because the thing is with tolerance is that you take something, it keeps going up and up, and then yeah, I mean, like I was saying too, in Colombia, you can buy this stuff over the counter. That's the thing. I think if you have a drug issue or you have kind of like a tendency to want to seek it out, Colombia is one of the worst places probably for being, because you can just go buy a lot of stuff, just over a counter. You don't need a prescription or anything. You're not gonna like get in trouble for having pills or something. Um, Also, the cheap cocaine, is a big thing too. I never really liked cocaine, but that really takes people down when if you can get a gram of cocaine for $2 over there, then people can uh, get pretty messed up from that too. But yeah, I guess it's just sort of uh, yeah, you gotta be like in the right mindset to not get involved with that. Okay, the girls. All right. Well, I'll say definitely some like really nice girls there. I will say for sure. However, they really are aggressive a lot of times about money. Like there was one girl that I kind of dated a little bit, like casually there. It was a Venezuelan girl, and like the first week or so, I was like, oh, she's really nice. She's a cool person. And then it just started being so much about money all the time. It's like I want to, you buy me a phone. I want you to buy me clothes. I want you to buy me all this stuff. And so that got to be a problem. Um, yeah, I mean, so I think because some of these, or a lot of the girls, unfortunately, that live there live in like some very, very, like pretty extreme poverty compared to what you would see in the U.S. And so, for example, Medellin, if you're in like every like foreigner from the States or Europe is in like the richest neighborhood, like El Poblado or Laureles or like Envigado, or like the three main like really rich areas there. And these girls will come from like these slums, but and I don't mean to say that disrespectfully, but just very poor areas, and kind of troll for guys in these other neighborhoods. And then they sometimes they can really get, the guys when they interact with them, it's like, oh, these girls are so nice, they're so blah blah blah, but then they start getting really nailed for money after that. But not everybody is like that, but Medellin in particular has got more, I think, of like gold diggers. I think other parts of the country have more kind of like just normal girls, like more in the countryside and more in, some of these other parts. But yeah, Medellin, I don't really go there anymore. It's gotten too played out. Um, yeah. So then I was in Brazil recently. If I ever studied the art of pick, so when I was like younger, I was in my earlier 20s. Um, like I looked really young. I had like kind of a round face. Like I looked like I was like 17 when I was like 22. So I wasn't really like, I definitely not like, a pickup artist kind of guy at that time because I looked so young. And so I got kind of frustrated about that. And I would look at some stuff like the Roosh V forum, like back when that was active. But yeah, a lot of people that kind of like say are pickup artists, I think are not really like a lot of it's kind of bullshit. I think, really, I think probably the biggest thing about, you know, somebody, pursuing women to be more desirable to women, it's mostly confidence is a big thing. Like you can be no, um, but it's yeah mainly like I think just having a confident attitude and not looking like you're, trying to pick up, because then it's obvious when you're doing that. But so what other if I've answered everybody's questions here. Um, yeah, so I really am I'm hoping to make this channel a lot more, a lot bigger and really get a bigger community going here because yeah, for me it's kind of tough as I still don't really have a reliable job. So hoping maybe YouTube can be a job one day. But let's see here. See if I answer everybody's questions. Yeah, so what else? This used to be rejected. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so I kind of talked about how my experience when I got burned for money, in Colombia and stuff. I don't really like, I meant maybe I have a bit of trust issues. I'm not really looking for relationships and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just sort of I think for me, the biggest thing is career. I'm trying to get more of a focusing more on a career and stuff. The video, yeah, yeah, right, about me talking about that. Yeah, guys, I mean, the way I look at it is if I'm traveling, and I'm in these countries like Colombia or Brazil or Mexico or wherever, I have a certain guard up where I don't want to be thought of as somebody that's going to be like, the financial savior for somebody, or like I want to be taken advantage of. I just do not want to have a situation where somebody thinks, oh, there's, like gringo that has money or whatever, or can give me a visa or things like that. That happens to a lot of people, and they get really duped, by thinking, oh, this, she's different or blah 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 and all these things, but they're, getting manipulated. So I try to avoid that. But I think just in general, like for attracting people, it's if you're working on yourself and you're trying to, have a better view about yourself and focus on, career or just like simple things, going running, some days, exercise. What I know is kind of the same thing everyone says, but just self improvement is a lot more important than like thinking about, okay, what am I going to do to attract this person? But yeah, I don't know. It's just my take on it. Any other questions or anything from people? Yeah, you're right about that. But, yeah, I guess I'd be curious to know of like subject videos to talk about, like what more I should. If I ever tried to day trade. I was interested in like foreign exchange trading, forex trading. I thought that was really promising. I have some crypto, but I don't really like day trade it. I'm just holding on to a few altcoins right now and just hoping that under Trump that the all the Bitcoin stuff will just go up. I'm pretty sure over the next 4 years because he's going to be more likely to support the market. Um, yeah, I in fact I have Solana. I just bought some. I don't have that much money right now. I only put in maybe $300 worth of just different altcoins. Like I put like 50 into one, 50 in another, stuff that's like maybe $1 or less. And it's been pretty good return so far, And now I have over 1,000 in my portfolio, which is good considering I only put in like 300. Um, but I was interested in doing like foreign exchange trading, but every time I tried to sign up because I don't have a yeah like the Shiba INU and stuff like that, all those like Dogecoin and stuff. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to get good at those. Yeah, the meme coins and stuff. Um, but I don't really. I'm not really an expert with that, but I'm trying to get better. And foreign exchange trading. Um, yeah. I guess other thing I was curious about is like what kind of subjects I should focus on with like my vlogs. Um, Day trade. I said, yeah. I need to get into that because I don't do so well with like 9 to 5 jobs. Last job I had, I couldn't stand it. I was a security guard, and I just sat inside this booth all day long, and got really old. But yeah, I'm curious to see like what kind of subject matter I should focus on for videos because I've kind of talked a lot about the drug stuff, but I feel like it's getting kind of tired. Like I had that one popular video. It's like how drugs ruined my life. Then I kind of just like, kept sort of saying the same thing over and over again about that, and I feel like it's people have sort of heard my opinion about that stuff and they've heard my story about it. So I don't know what kind of other things I should talk about. Monster on Dex. I'm not familiar with that. Monster on Dex screener. I'll look it up here. Monster. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I didn't see that one on wow, on Dex screener. I haven't seen that coin before. Or I don't know if it's on Coinbase or not. I'm just looking this up now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, my friend trades like NFTs, which seems to be good too. I don't know really anything about that, but he seems to just do that full time now. Um, ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, thanks for this info. Now I gotta find. I gotta look up this. I didn't know about Deck Screener before. It's what all I was doing before was just uh, like pulling up Coinbase and just kind of picking out stuff based on what I saw on the history. Can Wow, what? That's pretty interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just pulling this up now. It's looking. That looks like a lot of interesting tools here. Yeah, I know. I'm just. I also, but I was on Binance too. I was on Binance for a while, and then they banned U.S. Citizens or something from using Binance. Um, Roland Wolf. Roland Wolf. Well, this is great information. Now I've got some. Thanks for this. Because I would like to get just stable income where I don't have to worry about coming back to Florida. Because anytime I travel, and I travel places where more or less you can get by on like 2,000 a month, I would say. But in Florida, it's like I know somebody that uh, it has like 7,000 a month that they pay in just bills and stuff, and they don't even live in like that expensive of a part of Florida either. So I just don't understand why anybody would want to pay U.S. prices. If you can have some kind of remote income, I think that's worthwhile rather than having some job here. As I had a job here that was like 18 an hour, but that still is not like hardly living wage. I just saw that in Charlotte County, Florida, like $20 is just considered a living wage, 20 an hour, which is pretty ridiculous. So, Roland Wolf's 1K payday course. Hmm. I'm gonna get into this now. Thanks a lot for this information. Um, all right. So lose money in the Yeah, the stock market stuff has just not worked out so well for me. I mean, I'm not really like a financial expert. I just had an Ameritrade account. I put some stuff in, but nothing really performed that well. I'm really most interested in like crypto and in the foreign exchange thing, which I want to do, but I can never get an account set up because I don't have like address verification. I don't even have a permanent address, so it's kind of annoying. Um, but yeah, this is some good info. I'm glad I've got some stuff to look at. But yeah, in order to like make anything with YouTube, you have to have like 4,000 watch hours, and I'm at I'm not I'm even halfway to that yet. Even though my channel is it's not a big channel, but I have it's like almost a 4K or so. You'd think it used to just be that only you need 1,000 subscribers to monetize, but now it's way more requirements. Um, so all right, I'm trying to think of what other stuff to touch on here with you gotta get. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think I definitely do need to get more serious about finance, because then my biggest thing is just not wanting to be stuck coming to Florida, like I was saying. Because what I'll do is I save up a certain amount of money, and then I travel to wherever, usually in Latin America. I run out of money. I'm back in Florida again. I don't. I personally, like, in my opinion, after being outside the US and kind of seeing the way other things work, other countries like have a different vibe. People seem to like have more, I don't know, more of appreciation for life, even if they don't really have as much money. And I definitely like Latin America better, but so yeah. Any other? Yeah, I always end up getting fired. Although last job I had was just working in a food truck. I was happy that I didn't get fired from that. I it was like 18 an hour, which is okay for what I was doing. I was just cashier, but that's like my current job I have now, which is fine. But I mean, when I'm just going around in the U.S. and I'm just seeing the way a lot of people are just like so stressed out, it seems unbelievable with just the amount of hours people work. It's like it seems that 40 hours is almost not even the standard anymore. People will be working like 60 hours or so to 80 hours sometimes even. That's just like, man, I don't know. It's like it definitely more of a work culture, but yeah, I don't know. I've just not really I've never really found a job that was something I was like enthusiastic about going into each day, obviously, but um I don't know. Just kind of that's why I'm trying to take YouTube seriously. I hope that becomes something more for me. Um Other things like when I travel, I teach English a bit by the time you retire. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody also recommended to me like the Millionaire Fast Lane, which I guess it's got some good information. I started reading it. There's a guy that's called Jordan Welsh. That's this young guy that's like a millionaire, but he talks about just he's like a business owner. And I'm not really interested in owning a business, but he has some interesting things to say about how to manage money or just like having more of a mindset, kind of an abundance mindset rather than just, you know, going through things thinking, oh, I got to have this salary job, blah, blah, blah. But, all right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna head off and get some lunch, but I'll probably be back on later. And thanks everybody who tuned in, and thanks for the information on the trading. See you guys.